Hey, good morning. Today's daily pattern, I don't know exactly how to say it, but it looks like it's Anooka by Smita Toke. Anooka? Yeah. It's another really fun organic tangle. I love these organic tangles. You guys know how much I really like doing these organic tangles. Let me zoom right in here. Step number one, you draw a box and you make some squiggly lines coming out of the box. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 5 of them, although I imagine that it probably doesn't make any difference if it's 5 or whatever. And then you connect the end of your squiggly line to the next one around using a bracket shape, a petal shape, right? Very organic. Every one of them is different because the distance here to here is different in each one. So, you know, perfect for my style of drawing. And then in the middle, looks like we do sort of a rice shape down to, from the top of the point down to the box, wherever it lands on that box. And then number 4, we fill in using little lines aura-ing the rice shape. And that's what it looks like when, and I think that's awesome. And I can imagine it, you know, with some really deep shading. This is gonna be gorgeous. And then the sample one shows 2 of them, one in front of the other, with one having some embellishment on the inside of the rice shape. So I imagine that you could play around with distances of how big this line is. You could play around with how pointy this petal shape is, right? And you could play around with how wide this rice shape, if it's super skinny or much fatter. If you made it fatter, you could have more room to embellish inside. So there's going to be all sorts of different ways you can do variations on this tangle. But this looks like it's going to be a whole lot of fun. All right, so I'm going to move it out of the way. I'm not going to do any kind of grid or border or anything, because I think, you know, being organic, it's going to just kind of do whatever it does. I'm going to put, I think I'm going to put 3. So I'm going to do my centers. I think I'm going to put my centers approximately 1 here, 1 here. Change the sizes of my centers also, and 1 about here, just for composition, and see what I end up with. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one. This is the one I want in front. Excuse me, a bit of a frog in my throat. Okay, so we're going to just do some squiggly line, 3, 4, and 5. I didn't pay any attention to how it was squiggling. I just squiggled. Okay, so then we want to connect this to this. This comes up and connects to way over there. That to that, this to this, and this to that, right? That's the main shape. The rest of it is embellishment. I think I have these too close to here to really be good, so I'm going to actually not use those right there. I don't like that. I think that's too close together. Okay, so changed my mind already. See? Okay, let's do one here then. About here. Now let's work on a squiggly line. Let's make this one, the squigglies, really long and skinny. Let's try that. This would actually go off the page. I got a bit close to my edge. I got carried away. That's all right. It's because I'm having fun. That would be in here somewhere. And this one would be in there somewhere. That one's a bit big. Let's do a smaller one here. With more petals. Something like that. Okay, so now I've got 3 of them. One more standard, and the other's not quite as standard. And this one I will do according to the actual step outs, and these 2 I will do some who knows what with. So then the next step is to make this rice shape down to the middle. Connected to my box. Okay, I see that. I'm going to do that same thing for all of these. This one is going to be, because my really skinny. Super steady. And this one would end up where? About there somewhere, right? Super skinny. Okay. And then this one has those same kind of rice shape. I'm gonna make these ones kind of fat. See what I can do with them. Embellish differently the fat ones. Kind of hard to do on this skinny petal to do a fat center, but you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so now I've done the same step on all of them, right? Yes, I have. And then step number 3, this one's gonna be more standard, is to just go around like this and just aura this. When you come across the line for the next petal, just stop. right? And then the other way. Hope you guys can see this. The light's a little funky today. I don't have a lot of light coming in the window. So I have to rely on my craft light, which kind of brings a little bit of a shadow. Okay, and then this way. I'm making these really close together too. Imagine it would look different if you made these aura lines further apart. Whew. My phone keeps buzzing. Sorry about that. Facebook is very active today. Get lots of notifications. Everybody's done all sorts of stuff over the weekend and now they're posting it. All in my different groups that I belong to. I feel like that light is wrong, but I don't have another light to put on over here, so I guess I could try turning on that light over in the corner. But next video, I'll turn on all the rest of the lights in this room. It is much darker than I anticipated. I really think that's just beautiful. Sorry, I got a little quiet. I got in the Zen zone, but wow, that is so pretty. Oh, that is so pretty. Okay, I do this one with some embellishments in the middle here. I'm gonna follow that suggestion of the sample. I'm gonna go ahead and put like pearls in the middle there. I think I need to color that dark right there. Go ahead and do the sort of a pea pod look. Maybe they need a little spot. Something like that. So I'm going to encourage everybody to pick up their pen and try this. You know who you are. There are people out there who've commented that they just like to watch me draw, but they don't want to draw themselves. You know who you are. I know you know who you are. Come on. You can do this. Try it. You don't have to have fancy tools. Remember my first video? Did you go back and look at that first one about supplies? You know, do you have something to draw on? Any piece of paper. Doesn't matter. An envelope out of the trash will work. Any sort of paper that has a spot on it that's clear enough for you to draw. Right? And do you have something to write with? Pencil, pen, marker, doesn't matter. You can get more detailed drawings if you have a pen with a thinner nib or point to it. But that's all. That's the only difference between you know, different pens. You know, does it make a mark? And do you have a piece of paper to mark on? Or any surface for that matter, you know. You don't want to write on paper? Fine, don't write on paper. You want to put a pattern on your pumpkin using a carving tool? Okay, if it makes a mark on a surface, you can do this. Seriously, you can. Okay, what do I want to do with this other one? Trying to decide if I want the, do want the lines, but maybe I'll make them a little bit further apart, not quite so close together. That will change the look. Yeah, that changes that up quite a bit. So I've got long and skinny and further apart lines. But I'm serious. If you have something that makes a mark and some surface to make a mark on, you can do this. Go back to my beginner lessons. Lesson 1, lesson 2. Super simple. And follow along. Guess what? You can do it. I wonder if I color in every other one on this leaf, on these leaves, that would really make it pop. I'm going to try that. I'm going to put the middle one as the main focus. And then I'm just going to color, put a little sparkle. right in the middle, and color in every other one. See what that does. I want to do it before I lose this line, this shape of the petal next to it. Okay. Right here. I watched this really cool TED Talk the other day. You look up TED Talks, I think it was called Anyone Can Draw or something like that. Yeah, that was a good talk. They're not always good talks, but that one was. The only problem I have with TED Talks is they're so, I mean, they're short on purpose because, you know, nobody has an attention span anymore. They are short on purpose, but so the only thing I have problems with TED Talks is that I'm always left wanting more. But maybe that's the whole point, is that, you know, you take 10 minutes out of your day, you watch a TED Talk, and then, because they're never more than what, I don't think I've seen one more than 15 or 20 minutes long. I think that's their maximum. And you get a taste of a particular thing, and then you can explore it more. But there was this one called Anyone Can Draw, and he did a great job. And the people in the audience, you know, I think I'm gonna kind of guide my sparkle. I want my sparkle to go like that. I want to kind of see where I want it to go. Okay. The people in the audience were told to, you know, draw along with him. And they were pretty much amazed that, you know, if they followed his step by step, they too could draw these cartoon characters, which was a whole lot of fun. So I'd encourage you to see if you can find that talk. Make sure I remember to leave my sparkle. It does make a difference. You know, I almost feel like I need to shade it first. Don't do that very often, but sometimes I do. I feel like I need to shade these before I draw. That might help. And do just that side of the one petal. And I can keep track of where I'm at. Okay. This is not how I normally would do this, but I feel like I need to not lose that edge while I'm drawing. We'll see. See what happens. Sometimes it is hard to shade once you've done a lot of coloring in, just because your blending stump tends to catch on the dark ink. Oh, that's so pretty. Sorry, kind of going off the page again. I try to remember to keep at least where I'm drawing in the middle. Sometimes my thing goes off the edge, but I try to remember. Oh, I was doing them wider, wasn't I? Ah, okay. I did them tiny again. Oh, that's all right. That was not what I was planning on. That one's gonna look different. Shoot. You're supposed to be a little bit wider, like that. That's too many lines. Okay, I'll just color it in and see what happens. Where do I want my sparkle to kind of go like that? Do. Guess it's not so bad. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it is what it is. See, I stopped my flow. Do you see how that occurred? Is that like when I drew the different elements, I did all of one part first. You know, I drew this whole, the main outline, and then I drew this main outline, and drew this main outline. I was in a rhythm, right? That's part of the Zen Tangle process, is to become part of that rhythm. And I all of a sudden stopped to decide to do this shading first, and then I came back to drawing my lines, and when I did, I went back to this one, the skinny one, instead of the fat one, because I had lost my rhythm. And you know, just lesson learned. keep going with my rhythm. Don't miss out on that. So I may decide to make one of these other ones. I should have gone, you know, yeah, that would have looked good too. I could have done a fat one and then a skinny one and then a fat one and a skinny one. I could have done that as well. Especially since 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially since I have 6 petals on this one. I could have done every other one, but it is what it is. This one is only to here. Oh, here comes the thunder again. I'm going to have thunder and lightning again today. Wow. 2 days in a row. How awesome is that? Okay, and then this one I'm going to do skinnier. Not super skinny, but skinnier. And that way I have every petal just ever so slightly different in size. I won't notice as much that I have one that's really off. Does that make sense? How I'm going to quote unquote fix this issue? Okay, so my sparkle on this flower is kind of going in a circle. That needed to really come down more. I may fill that one in. Yeah, that's all right. We're going to kind of go this way with it. And then this one is going to kind of go right here and right in there somewhere with my sparkles. Just so it will look like the light is hitting it straight on and it's kind of cascading around the petals. So this is just going to take some moments to fill in. Anytime I color in, you know, the video is going to go longer, just because this just takes longer to do. You know, the drawing of the lines is not the part that takes the longest. And some days I feel like coloring in, some days I don't. Apparently today I do. Or I just feel like it just need, you know, the tile talks to me, the drawings talk to me. They tell me what they want, what they need. It is prettier than I thought it would be. I have spent far too much time on YouTube. Oh my goodness. So many different fun artists on YouTube. Yeah, there was, I don't remember his name, but there is a YouTube artist out there who is a spray paint artist. He uses spray paint cans. He's from Mexico. His video was interesting because he speaks first in Spanish and then he speaks in English. I thought it was kind of fun because his obviously his native, well, not obviously, but his native language is Spanish, and I don't know any Spanish. A few words here and there, but not enough to hold a conversation, that's for sure. But he's funny because he will wax eloquent for many minutes in Spanish, and then he will remember to speak in English, and he talks for like 2 seconds, and then he goes back to Spanish. I think that would be me if I was to be trying to do 2 languages. Yeah. Definitely I would mostly speak in English, and then I do, oh yeah, I have to remember I'm supposed to be speaking in whatever other second language I might know, which I don't, but you know, if I did, I can totally relate to him doing that way. But oh my gosh, he was so good. I couldn't believe what he was doing with a can of spray paint. Amazing stuff. And he wasn't like a graffiti artist, because he was doing it on some sort of board. It almost looked like a masonite board because it was kind of slippery, the surface. So I'm thinking it was like a masonite board that he was spraying onto, because he was able to use tools, simple tools like you know, cardboard, newspaper, his fingers, and wipe away after he's sprayed the paint down onto the board, wipe away certain parts. He used a plastic cut-up credit card and all sorts of tools. They weren't expensive, you know. I imagine that his biggest expense is probably the piece of masonite board and his paint. The other tools that he used were not expensive tools at all. But he made some of the most amazing art. Oh, wow. It's a man who has been practicing his craft for quite some time. And I'm sure he's probably a street artist. He probably, in the video, didn't show him being a street artist, but my guess is that he is. That most of his works are done, you know, on the fly in front of people, which makes him quite the entertainer as well. There we go. That's interesting because of where I put the sparkle on these petals look like they're drooping. I can't show you. They look like they're drooping downward, like the box is like in the middle and it's deeper and lower. It's like in the middle of a, like that, where the box would be like here. It's kind of what these petals look like. They're curling inward like that because of the way I put that sparkle. That's very interesting. I think I may still come back and shade some more. I think the middle needs shading. And I think I'm going to decide how these are going to live in my world. I got this way too close to the edge, so it's a little off. Does it need to anchor the piece? Maybe it does. It needs to go here. Okay, so I'm going to shade around where that one overlaps this one. And I'm going to make a lot . No, I'm going to do it this way. Change my mind. I'm going to give it some shadow here under the piece. It's coming this way, so it's going to be on this side. Maybe this way. So I changed my mind on where my shadows are. So I'm just going to do a bit in the middle here, just to give it. And I'm going to say that this is actually kind of sitting up off the page over here. Okay, so now this one is on top of this one right there, because that was the first one I drew, right? Gotta remember that. Where's my first one? And then these are gonna be on this side. Let's see. This side of the petal is going to have some shadow. Okay. And then on this one, for sure, on these guys I'm going to put a little shading down here. Because I've got so much white space down here, I'm going to show that these are like sitting up off the page by putting some shading in here. But more on this side than on this side. Same thing with this. Like that. And a little bit here. And dark right there. Or maybe a little bit right there. Okay. So then this is going to be on this side. And this is going to be on this side. And this is kind of right here. That one I feel like is on top of that one. That's on top of that one. Okay. Blending stump. My light is causing a reflection on my page where doesn't seem to matter which direction I turn it. I see funky shininess. So I don't know if that's going to be translating that way on the video or not. No, it doesn't seem to be. Okay, good. Just the angle where I'm sitting then. Okay, so it's hard for me, but it's not hard for you. That's all right. See what happens when you put it out here on the white, on the outside? It makes that flower look like it's raised up off the paper, which is a really cool look. Thunder! Yay for thunder! Makes it dark for drawing, but yay for thunder. Okay. I think it needs a little, just a little from the middle here. Not a lot, but just enough to make it so it's not quite so bright. All right, something like that. That's really pretty. Okay, this video went way longer than I had anticipated, but I really have been enjoying myself here. Sign it. This is Anooka. And going along with this week's daily patterns, it appears that they're all going to be starting with the letter A. So this is, let me zoom in. Oops, I'm out of the frame. Let's try that again. There we go. Zoom back out just a tad. Get the whole thing. That's as close as I can get. There we go. It's interesting. I like it. I really enjoy this one. I would draw this one more like this every time. See you guys later. Bye-bye.